Welcome, I'm Stant Litore. I hope you're having a wonderful time at virtual MileHiCon, and I'm here, local sci-fi and fantasy author. I'm here to add a reading to this theme of there's kissing in my sci-fi. I'm going to read to you today from Ansible, 1,000 Faces, which is an omnibus edition of the entire Ansible saga, which you can find on audiobook, Kindle, paperback, obviously, and EPUB as well through my direct site. I'll find out more at www.stantlitore, STANTLITORE.com. And let's read. Oh, this is exciting. So Ansible is about far future time-traveling, shape-shifting telepaths defending humanity from a mind-devouring evil, the Numivores. And the part I'm going to read you involves two lovers. Rasha, she is a single mother Syrian refugee from our own time, and Sahira from the 25th century, an Islamic bisexual shapeshifter who has been traveling up and down humanity's timeline, defending our descendants. In the moment of the story that I'm about to read, Sahira has been betrayed and captured in the far future, and Rasha has fled their captors back to our time, to Quebec City in Canada, to a past, to her own past, and a younger version of herself and a younger version of her lover are in this city at the time that she arrives. Excuse me, the air has been so dry with all the fires. Wet that and we'll get started. Thank you for joining me today. All right, I'm going to read you a chapter from Rasha's point of view. It'll be about 15 minutes, and it's called I Retrace My Steps in the Snow. I arrive and make a body and find myself stumbling down a snow-covered sidewalk. More snow is falling out of the night, gentle and soft and death-cold as humanity's lost dreams. Recovering my balance, I stand shivering. Snowflakes catch in my hair and eyelashes, melt on my shoulders and breasts. Arrived in too much haste to make clothes. The cold knifes into this new body. With it, grief and near despair. What am I doing here? What are any of us doing? Our species has been eaten. There are only a few of our distant children left, clinging to the corpse of a planet, like autumn's last dried, tattered leaves to the branch of a withered tree. And our last hope is locked in a box, a last coffin slammed shut. But in this time, humanity is not dead yet. And Sahira is here, just down the street, in my bedroom and not in a cage. Panting, I run naked down the street. A street I remember well, though I haven't seen it in so long. Lamps overhead cast intermittent pools of pale light at my feet, light without warmth. This is Quebec City, and the year is 2019. Curtains are drawn aside from windows as I run barefoot and shaking through the snow, but I can't think about that. I turn a corner, and there's the iced stair to my apartment. My foot slips on the second step, slamming my hip into the rail. I growl and pull myself up. The door is locked, but there's a spare key in the soil beneath the roots of a leafless hydrangea, sad with snow in its pot. My reddened fingers shake almost too much to get it into the lock. But then I'm inside, shutting the door, stealthy as a burglar, ready to rifle this memory of my past. It's hot. The radiator is roaring gently, and I stand breathing and shaking in the hall, dripping melted snow onto my rug, a ghost cursed with corporeality. Those drops of meltwater on the rug look so normal, something I might have seen on any of 100 evenings returning home after class. If I weren't standing here naked, I might think for just an instant that all the years and all the planets and all the bodies I have been were only a dream, or the fantasy of a mind broken by too much violence and pain. Drying, I walk gently down the hall. I pass a door and stop, then touch the wood. with my fingers. My heart lurches. On the other side of that door is... It opens softly. The window in that room is white with frost, but a little nightlight in the shape of a ladybug casts a warm red glow over my son's bed. His chest rises and falls softly as he breathes. His face is peaceful, as if he wasn't born into a world that knows bombs and blight. I stand over him, no longer a ghost, because my heart is thunder. Tears burn my eyes. My son. Oh, my son. He is so small. It has been so long since I've seen him so small. His tiny fist is tucked half into his mouth. Hardly daring to breathe lest I wake him, I kneel over him and tuck a few stray hairs behind his ear. My beautiful boy. I don't know how long I stand here. I don't know when I started humming. I just am. His favorite, a gentle melody from Asuaida, maybe the only part of that city that he will ever know. The only part other than me. He doesn't wake. Lullabies aren't for waking. Nor when I bend low and kiss his hair. When I step away, it is like there is no sound left in the world. On silent feet, in a daze, with one of my son's blankets retrieved from the closet and draped about me like a shawl, I passed down the short hall to the bedroom that was my own. I nudged the door open gently. In a flood of moonlight from the window, two figures lie entwined, breathing gently in sleep, a sheet tangled about their legs. Myself and Sahira, a faint scent of sex in the room. I catch my breath. How peaceful we look, how loving and safe. My eyes burn, and I blink back the tears furiously, refusing them. Tiptoeing to the bed, I bend and touch Sahira's shoulder, whispering her name. She wakes, eyes opening amber and gentle in the night. It takes her only a moment to realize I am both standing above her and lying in her arms. Her eyes widen slightly. Turning her head, she kisses the other Rasha's hair and whispers words in her ear that I can't catch. Then she gently slips out of my younger self's arms and rises beside the bed, naked and lovely, so that I am breathless, gazing at her. She smiles and bends to lift a blanket, tossed in passion to the floor, then wraps it about herself and slips past me through the door, a brush of her fingers against mine, inviting me to follow. In the kitchen, she sets a kettle of tea brewing. "You'll sleep soundly a while," she says, "soundly enough for the kettle not to wake you." Remembering the way she planted a word in the Australopithecine's mind, I nod, though I am startled, and I wonder how many times she has done this to me. An unsettling thought. But watching her hands unpack tea bags from tiny boxes, her fingers so graceful, and seeing again the gold of her eyes and the soft swell of the tops of her breasts above the blanket, my heart is warm with trust in her. She notices me looking, and a smile touches her lips, a smile that is mostly mischief. I know that smile, and my face warms. Her smile grows at my blush. "I'm sorry," she says. "I was just having a thought." A thought. Her mind brushes mine just as her fingers did moments ago, and my thighs grow warm too. "Well, there are two of you here, and a very soft bed." "Sahira!" I cry, shocked. I can hear the tea boiling. "My body's still warm from your touch, and it's difficult at the moment to think of much else." Glancing at me, seeing how flustered I am, her smile fades a little, and she adds gently, I have lived a very long time, Russia. A lot saddens me and a lot humbles me. But very little embarrasses me anymore. Certainly not my own desires. The water for the tea begins to whistle faintly. She lifts it from the burner. I may even, she murmurs, pouring the cups, have increased the heat just a little on those desires in this current body, as a gift for you. I watch the cups fill. I feel as though I am about to fall, and then keep falling and falling forever. I love you, I whisper. She touches my mind again. Her eyes soften. Such anguish. Am I dead? I shake my head, unable to speak aloud. I don't know what to do. She comes to me, holds me. Her blanket slips to the floor at our feet, but she doesn't try to touch me. She just caresses my hair and holds me. And her mind is all around me as though I'm floating in a warm, clean pool. To my horror, I start to cry. The tea has steeped, and the cup is warm in my hands, a little steam still rising from it. We sit on the old sofa as though this is years ago. I try to ignore the strangeness of knowing that I am also sleeping in the next room while I finish explaining my grief to Sahira. I haven't shared many details, just the fact that she is imprisoned and betrayed by a friend, and that I don't know how to get her out. And my throat is tight and my eyes are swollen from tears. Her thigh is pressed to mine, her hand on my arm. Her eyes are grave. Think carefully, my Rasha. Have you ever met an older version of me? Yes, I swallow. At the Day of the Doves. Then I don't stay caged. I can feel her relief, crashing in waves across the surface of her mind, though it doesn't show in her face, which she keeps warm, meaning to reassure me. But I remember the panic and the pitch of her screams when Omar's sentinels dragged her away. She who can leap from body to body at will, captivity terrifies her. How can you be certain? Hope and horror war in my heart. Her hand squeezes my arm gently. Time is a mosaic, she says, the waves in her mind calming. Made up of millions of tiny events, though Allah alone can see the picture. But all these events have been placed in the mosaic, and none can be pried loose. How do I free you? I ask. I don't know. You need to ask the older Sahira. She can tell you, perhaps. I gasp as hot tea spills on my hand. Glancing down, I realize my hands are shaking. Sahira takes the cup from me, sets it down, and holds my hands warmly between hers. Her eyes are so gentle. Then she kisses me. The kiss is long and slow and loving, and my whole body warms with it, and I can taste my tears on our lips. Go, my dear Rasha, she whispers to my heart. Be brave. I lift my lips from hers and nod shakily. But will you be all right? The question isn't rational. I'm asking it of the Sahira I heard screaming in the silent country beneath the redoubt, not of this one with her hands holding mine, whose eyes flicker with heat. Oh, yes, I will, this Sahira answers me, smiling. Now go save me, as I have you. I trust you. I know I'll be safe. Go, dear Rasha. And now I must go to your other self in the bedroom and see if I can make her wake all your neighbors. The mischief has returned to her face. It makes my insides melt with heat, and it comforts me. I whisper my love to her again, and this time the kiss is hot with passion and need, and it is all I can do to rise trembling and move toward the outer door. As I throw the lock, I glance back to see that Sahira has risen and is walking naked down the hall to the bedroom, soft in the moonlight. I'm breathless. I think I remember what night this is, precisely which night. Blushing hotly, I leave my apartment, locking it after me to keep Sahira and my son safe, and replacing the key beneath the hydrangea. I must keep her safe. It has stopped snowing. I hurry down the steps and away into the winter night, my feet quiet in the snow. An old fire has lit in my body, a fire that is not desire, but fury. Omar, you think you can cage the one I love, the one I love. I will find that older Sahira, and I will find a way to break that cage, and you had better not be anywhere near when I do. You will wish you were burning in hell, Omar, rather than facing my anger. And that's a bit of the story of Rasha and Sahira from Ansible, which I hope you'll rush out and get, because it's a wild and exciting story of time travel, love, passion, terror, and adventure. It's in 3 volumes, or this omnibus. And I read you, as they say in The Princess Bride, one of the kissing parts. And I hope you enjoyed the story, and I'll pass this on now to the next author reading on this theme, and I hope to see you around the con. I'm Stant Litore, signing off.